Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and this is what if Deku had a Dragon Slayer quirk. I just want to say that if you like these videos, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps me out a bunch, and comment for part 2. Just for a quick update on things, Luffy part 2 will be coming soon. I just wanted to make this one beforehand. A, because it's easier to make a part 1 than it is to make a part 2. B, I've got really into Fairy Tail right now. I've just started watching it again. Well, no, I've just started watching it and I'm really into it, so I wanted to make a what if on it. I hope you guys can understand. Anyway, I also hope you enjoy. So, it started when he was a kid. He was walking into class when one day fire started to surround his hands in some sort of fire claws. They realised that this was his quirk awakening, and they also realised that Deku had a quirk. He wasn't quirkless. So this, of course, Deku thought it was dead cool. He went to get his quirk tested, and that's when he found he had low pyrotechnics, which means he could control fire, but that wasn't quite as strong yet. He could produce fire in some sort of gauntlet, claw looking thing around his like he had some sort of fire claws around him that he could activate and deactivate on will. He could also, but he also had some sort of void biology with him that they like to call dragon lungs. This meant if let's say if Endeavour shot fire at him, he'll be able to eat it. And they actually tested that by Endeavour first shooting a small flame at him to shooting full power at him, which actually impressed Endeavour, which, but it didn't go much further than that, other than everything was kept confidential due to Deku being a kid, and they didn't want everybody to know. So, anyway, back on track. So he got back to school. This annoyed Bakugo because he had more powerful of a quirk, but it also made him respect him. So in the patrols, he was seen as a second powerfulest, when really he was kind of the powerfulest. But Bakugo had better control over his quirk. Anyway, so the people at the office realised the destructive power, but the potential of the quirk, with Deku potentially being able to take out Endeavour due to quirk matchup. So there was like, this kid's probably going to be powerful. What a good quirk. And I was kind of jealous of him. Of course, right now you won't be able to take out Endeavour, but in the future, due to his quirk advantage, like, Endeavour basically feeds his quirk, because another part of his quirk, they didn't quite figure it out, because they found it unsafe for him to swallow fire, but when he swallows fire, it kind of regenerates him, and it's a bit like food, but you can't swallow his own fire, otherwise that'll create an infinite loop. But when he swallows his fire, it makes his own powers stronger. So anyway, over the years of getting used to his power, so we're time skipping to high school, was it, or middle school? We're time skipping there. Over the years of just getting used to his powers, he's figured out some more things he can do. So first of all, he can also breathe fire, which there's not much more to go into it. He can just breathe fire, like, and then fire will come out. He also found out that he has fire resistance, so on top of being able to breathe in the fire, he could probably survive, let's say he could survive a minute in lava before it started to burn, like proper burn, like Anakin burn, if anyone's seen Star Wars. So he has quite a big fire resistance as long as being able to eat the fire, but magma's and magma's like molten rocks. They couldn't be able to eat that, but it wouldn't burn him straight away. Like he'll have like a whole minute to get out of the lava, but I don't know how he's getting into this theoretical lava. You just know the limits, so it can't really be damaged by fire at all. Next is they found out that he can use fire to boost certain attributes. This could be something like, let's say he could create fire on his feet and it'll create a sudden burst to let him jump, let's say like 20-30 foot in the air. He could keep that consistent fire and fly, but it takes quite a lot of energy for it to be efficient. He'd probably be better off running, which leads me into another part. He's figured out he's stronger than most people, and that strength really relies on how much fire he has. If he's really low on fire, it's like a little bit stronger than a human. If he's like full up on fire, he's quite strong. But let's just say he's stronger than an average human would be, like pretty strong. Anyway, so to get into the beginning part, he is told to. Okay, this gets really annoying sometimes, but my house makes weird noises, so when I'm recording, let's say 7 o'clock in the morning, I think somebody's going to come downstairs, which would not be good. Anyway, back on point. So he is now I forgot where I am. This is going to get really annoying. Sorry guys. So anyway, it is middle school, and Bakugo respects him and he's like, hey, you're going to come out tonight? We're just off to celebrate us getting into UA, as a joke that Bakugo made, even though they're not into UA. And Deku's like, no, I need to go home and study. Of course, believe it or not, his mind does not fit his quirk. He's not hot-headed, meaning that he will still be writing notes about people, but he's got like more notes on Endeavour and more notes on All Might. Let me explain why real quick. He has more notes on All Might because he wants to somehow mimic his smashes using his flames. He's got more notes on Endeavour because he sees his quirk similar, so it's like, oh, I can learn from him. And he has even more notes on All Might because he's his favourite hero and doesn't want to betray him by having notes on Endeavour. I'm just going to take a quick drink, my mouth is hurting me. Anyway, so he's walking home. He takes a shortcut home because he wants to get home and study more. And he also wants to see whether there's some way he could like test his quirk powers, but not his flames, of course. He just wants to. Okay, that is pretty scary. Right now, there's an alarm going off. My neighbour's alarm's going off. Okay. It seemed to stop, so I'm actually going to continue. But, this isn't scary. I'm going to take this off because I'm quite warm. Anyway, back to the point. So, he's got in his head, he's figuring out a way how he could test his quirk without actually testing his quirk. It's basically impossible because he didn't want to break the law. But then he's like, I'm sure my mum will let me do it in my own garden anyway. And that is when he gets hit by a slime monster. This causes a slime monster to try and take over his own body. This is when Deku's like, so he wants a piece of me. So the first thing he does is he unleashes his claws and he tries to boost flame from his feet to get up in the air. This is not successful, so he tries again. This time his flames are getting stronger and hotter. This with his swiping of his claws, he manages to set loose and then use that brief freedom to full jet his way up using his flames. So the pressure of him jetting up and the pressure of him clawing away at the monster, well, slime, causes it to basically lose grip of Deku and have to refigure some of its body. That's when Deku then realizes he's gonna have to put in some more effort. So what he does, he gets some distance away, and then starts to basically power up, like go ah, and flames start riveting out of his body into the form of a mini dragon, and that then covers his body, so he's now got mini fire dragon armor, and he walks up to it and punches it. This of course gets him into a kind of like stalemate punch, but when they're in the stalemate punch, flames start to build up, which causes Slime Monster to have to retreat. But then it comes back at him, this time getting him off guard, but he manages to use his swifty reflexes to flame run fly away, and then use his fire breath kind of thing to breathe fire over him, which causes a slime monster to overheat and turn into more of a sludge, and turn into because it's like kind of a liquid, basically balances a mixture, which makes him too liquidy for him to form back together. This is when Deku's like, okay, I need to contain this slime. So what he does, he searches through his bag for his lunchbox and then puts it inside of his lunchbox. That's when All Might stops by, and he's like, well, no, All Might was watching the fight from All Might was watching the fight pretty much from when he gets out of being taken over, but he wants to watch Deku because he's heard things about him from the doctors and Endeavor, that he basically Endeavor's been mocked by a few people that he could be taken out by a kid, even though right now he probably could take out Endeavor, but that was only to do with Quirk matchups. Like, if he wasn't able to do so well against fire, he probably wouldn't be able to win anyway. So All Might watches this and realizes how smart the kid is, and then he's like, oh, wish I was this smart when it came to combat. But he doesn't decide to train him because he still thinks Mirio will be better, and giving this kid one for all will not be a good idea because it will make him too powerful. So All Might does talk and thank Deku, but he doesn't go any further. It also causes him not to meet back. It causes a slime monster not to take over Bakugo, and it causes Deku to not save Bakugo even though he's been hopeless, which causes him definitely not to get one for all, which is sad. But honestly, if you have one for all on this, it'll be too overpowered. Anyway, so he gets home, he sleeps, he wakes up tomorrow, and he realizes he can't quite do Quirk training, so he decides to train his body. He wakes up, he does 50 push-ups, goes on a 10k run, another 50 push-ups and 100 sit-ups. He's pretty ripped, he's pretty strong, and you gotta think, he's not taking anybody's, he'll basically beat anybody who, any villain at this point. He's still heroic, he's been training his whole life, and his quirks boosted his muscle, which causes him to be quite muscly and quite strong. Anyway, so he's now preparing mentally for the UA exam by revising every single day, and he's training every single day, and that's when he's still researching and thinking about the how he can train his body, or how he can train his quirk in a different way. And then he thought, wait, could I clean up some heavy duty equipment and help the community at the same time? And that's when he finds out about the beach that has been full of the garbage in the cannon. So he goes there and he starts to clean up the beach, basically, which causes him to A, train himself up, and B, clean the beach. He helps the community. He does about what he does in the anime. He does that in about 1 month. So what he does instead is just keeps on improving his training regimen and just trains for UA, and he's studying as hard as possible, and he's actually having some fun. He goes out with Bakugo a bit, like they just do stuff in a gang, not bad stuff, like they're just friends, really, like friends will do. And that is what brings us up to, yeah, UA exam. This is where he walks in. He nearly trips up, still only having the combat experience against the slime. He gets saved still, and then he walks in. He's muttering because he's really stressed about the exam. Of course, he goes in and Ida tells him off, and that's when he's like sorry, and then we go into the whole place where the like testing is, like where sorry about that, just had a mini tongue twist there. So they're in the exam hall and he's getting ready to do his exam. He's more stressed about what he's going to do right or wrong to notice that people have started yet. So what he does, he uses his flame jump to get ahead, and then he starts running quickly, getting some sort and boosting himself with fire to get to the 2 pointers which are behind. That's when he uses his dragon claws, and he's like dragon smash, and then he's like Detroit dragon smash, which is when his gauntlets turn into claws, and then he's like prominence burn, and he basically what he does. So the first robot was the dragon smash, that was just gauntlet, and he punches off the head of a robot. Then it was Detroit smash, which is his claws, and he just scratches off the head of a robot. And then the next one was prominence burn. That's when he grabs onto the robot and basically heats it up so much that the head just melts in his hand. Then he realizes that he's gonna have to get some fire from somewhere. So what he does next, with just using his strength, is hit the battery of a robot so it sets on fire and eats the remaining fire from that, and he's like, tasty. Anyway, so he just keeps on mulling around destroying robots, and he realizes that just either Detroit Dragon Smash or Dragon Smash is the best one to go with. That's because of him not having to switch, so he decides to stay with Detroit Smash. So he's just Dragon Smash. So he's just dragon smashing all of the robots' heads off. That is when he realizes Ochaku's in trouble, but he also realizes that the robot's too big. So the robot is about to step on Ochaku, so what he does, he jumps in the way and he goes, full power dragon Detroit smash. Sorry, I did that way too loud. And his fist collides with the robot. This creates an inferno of fire, but controlled not to touch Ochaku, who's protected by the concrete slab. This inferno of power manages to hold back the robot, cracking the floor that he's on, as well as very slowly melting away at the foot. That causes the robot to go off balance and start to fall towards Deku. So what he does, he picks up the piece of concrete very slow and picks up the piece of concrete, ripping it off away. But this is course taking like he's like and then he picks up a tracksuit and runs away from the fallen robot, being able to dodge it by the skin of the teeth and still basically being rattled up by the shockwaves it's caused. That is when the exam ends and he basically gets told, well done for saving her, I'm glad nobody got hurt, time to go home and see how you've done. So he comes home and he knows he's got at least 75% on the written exam, but he doesn't know whether he's done enough on the practical exam. This is because he spent half his time helping the girl, some of his time just wasting time dulling in the space like, is this like the right thing for me? Am I here? When do I go? Will I be okay? At the beginning of the exam, when present Mike is like, go, 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 there will be no time to waste in battle like this and stuff. He wastes some time there and he's just like, oh no, will I have enough to go in? And that is when he gets the letter. Well, no, stressing the whole weekend, but he's still making sure to keep up with his workouts because he wants to keep strong body, big strong. So he's still keeping up with his workouts. That is when he gets the letter and he gets told he's actually in UA, which makes him dead happy, and he gets told All Might's a teacher, which makes him even more happy because he can learn from All Might. So anyway, this leads me into the Endeavour train. We'll just, he's walking in and he's talking to a tracker who's like, oh, and he sees Bakugo. He's like, yes, I'm with my friend. He sees Ida and it's like, oh no, I'm with him. But then Ida comes up to him and he says, your power's really impressive, you did well. And this is of course at UA if I didn't explain it properly. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping to conclusions here. I don't quite like this part. So let's just, everything happens like it does in canon. Then let's skip to the UA, to the Aizawa training part. Deku aces all the tests using his fire to back up the ball and basically flings it really far, and people see why he's really strong because what he does, he uses his abnormal strength, so it's like boosted strength, and he uses his arm and fires a kind of speed to this abnormal strength to throw the ball really, really far, further than Bakugo, which annoys him but at the same time impresses him. He's like, okay, so I've got some proper competition in this class. So yeah, then we're gonna skip to the so basically, sorry, I should probably iron out what happened at the end of the Aizawa arc. Let me just take a drink. As for the Aizawa arc, Mineta gets sent home due to him not being strong enough and failing the test, and he doesn't see any potential in Mineta, just seeing him as a perv. But for the rest of the class, they still stay. This is when it goes into the All Might training, and everyone's like, oh no, is someone else gonna be sent home? Because people are proper scared of being sent home. And then All Might's like, no, I'm not as mean as what's his name, Aizawa. And then everyone's like, oh, that's okay. So anyway, all the what's it called? I've completely forgot. I'm so sorry. All of the All Might, I want to go All Might hero thing, all that goes the same, other than Ochaku, Ida, or Midoryia and Bakugo fight. This is because all my back Midoryia and Chaku go in straight away, and Midoriya is of course first. This is when I've just realised with the title I've put "What if had a Dragon Slayer Quirk." Let's hope nobody notices that. I'm gonna add it in for the thumbnail, but I'm not gonna add it in for that. And I'm just gonna imagine that never happened. Anyway, so Bakugo doesn't charge straight in this time, and Midoriya makes sure to go first, so he can use his flames as a kind of shield. What Bakugo's plan is to use all of Deku's flames up, so he's weakened, because he's realised that over time with him being friends. And what Deku's trying to do is take out Bakugo before he can start sweating his gauntlets, because they both know secrets about each other now that they're friends. They both realise what they've got to do to defeat each other. So Bakugo basically stays back with Ida, and Midori and Chaku slowly trek until they get to the bomb room. That's when they see that Ida's near there, and Ida charged towards them, which causes Deku to basically flame smash him. But then from behind, Bakugo comes and blasts both of them, causing them to be pushed into the room and pushed into a corner. This is when Deku uses his Dragon Detroit Smash to push away both Bakugo, and then he uses a Dragon Detroit Smash again to basically push away Ida. That is when he basically he's like, Dragon Breath, breathing everywhere, setting a line of fire in front of the bomb, which isn't safe if it was an actual bomb, but it leaves enough time for Chaku to go behind and actually capture the bomb. Because basically what he's done, he's pushed him away using his flames and set a big flame wall that they can't pass across. So he's trapped him on the wrong side of the room when they got pushed into the corner, and it caused him enough time to basically capture the bomb, causing them to win the hero exercise. Of course, I am going to leave it here. You're probably wondering, why is he leaving it here? Well, we're just about to hit the half-hour mark. I'm getting quite tired, and I'm going to have to somehow fix this. Anyway, I want to say thank you for watching. Remember, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. It helps me out a bunch. And comment if you want a part 2. And also comment if you want a part 2 to any of the old ones. And remember, Luffy is coming soon. I'm just wanted to make a new one. Thank you and goodbye.